I know, I know. I never thought I'd ever be reviewing the Friday Girl on this channel either. You know the one. It's Friday, Friday. You know the one. You know the one. I didn't think I'd be doing it. And yet here we are. In fairness to Rebecca Black, and also the defense of myself, because there'll probably be some people in the comments being like, why don't you review real music? Ah! There'll be some. But in the defense of Rebecca Black as well, she has done a pretty good job over the past few years in rebranding her career, basically. Just kind of taking us further and further away from that meme era and just kind of showing us that actually, yes, I am a serious artist who makes serious pop music now. And, I mean, she's convinced me because I think this is a really good album. But genuinely, I think it's really good. What can I say, guys? I think it's really good. I don't think her debut was that good. I don't think that one was that good. But I think this one is good. It's 7 tracks, 21 minutes. It is listed as an album. I did initially think maybe this would be considered an EP, but as far as I can see, it's listed as an album. And I guess there isn't a huge amount to say in terms of like a full-length review, but I did want to highlight this album just because I had a lot of fun with it. I was surprised. I thought Salvation really kicked things off with just immediate high energy, propulsive energy, bombastic energy, just straight up highlighted that this album is just going to be very like synth heavy with the tracks, but also with this kind of hyper pop twist as well, because the way she comes on the track on the verses with those vocals, it is really pulled straight out of the hyper pop playbook, really. I just think anybody that is a fan of that kind of niche, well, I guess it's become a bit more popular nowadays, but I just think if you're a little bit more on the hyper pop side of pop music, I just think you're going to love this track. And the chorus is great too. It's just, yeah, kind of highlighting that Rebecca Black might have a lot more star quality than some people might have wanted to admit or even recognize initially, but I think it's there. Trust with those buzzy guitars and that club ready beat, that breakdown as well sounds great. Again, just floor filler type stuff here, and the refrain has this zany nature to it as well. It's a bit odd, it's a bit quirky. She kind of does a lot with her voice here that kind of separates it from just your average kind of club pop song. But yeah, I mean, I'm all over this. I think again it's really fun, it's exciting, kind of gives me Come and Have a Go energy, which I think from their last album where they were just really giving you those propulsive high, loud banging high energy dance pop songs. Like, yeah, definitely in that vein, and I'm just a fan of this, so yeah, fair enough. And when I say I like this kind of thing, I do when it's done well. I do feel like there's a very fine line between getting this right and wrong. And I do think like an artist perhaps like Kim Petras, who does go for this sound, doesn't ever really lock me in. There's always something not quite right. It sounds a bit plastic. It sounds a bit robotic to me, to my ears anyway. But yeah, I just think that there's a lot of personality here. You can't really call, that chorus on Trust robotic in the slightest. There is a commanding presence, and Rebecca Black is commanding your ears with her voice. It sounds really great. And then you're looking at somebody like, I don't know, a Tate McRae, who I did review on this channel recently, who just doesn't really lack that, who just doesn't really have that presence and lacks a lot of that personality to me. Like, this just kind of brings that in spades and gives me exactly what I'm looking for. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm speaking like Rebecca Black is the next big thing, and I kind of do feel like that could be true. Like, it could be true. She could get something big from this album. That high energy is continuously kept up throughout this album. Obviously, Sugar, Water, Cyanide keeps it up. Really like the beat on this track. However, when you get to that chorus and it's those like childlike vocals, that's where I'm losing it a little bit. I will say that's kind of dragging this down for me personally. I do again appreciate the production on this track here, but I just don't like that transition into those childlike vocals at all, man. I was not a fan of it when Marina did it on her most recent track, which kind of just came and went immediately, because I do not think people took to that at all. And yeah, it's giving me too much of a reminder of that, and I don't want to hear that. Don't think this kind of thing can really be done well very often. And yeah, this is a good example of how it just kind of falls flat on its face for me. So yeah, with 7 tracks, there's one track that I just outright don't like. you know, you kind of look at the ratio and you think, okay, it's kind of pulling it down, you know, kind of pulling it down. I feel like 13, 14 tracks and there's like one track you don't like, fair enough. But 7, I'm already ready to kind of just move on from this one, unfortunately. That being said, though, this album does end ridiculously strong with potentially the best 2 tracks, along with Trust, which is another great one, obviously I've already mentioned. But Do You Even Think About Me, that like nightcore energy at the last minute or so on that song is really cool. Like, again, the kind of genre diving and blending that she's doing on this is pretty admirable. Like, obviously it's very like high energy dance pop, synth pop stuff, hyper pop obviously, but this track just kind of brings out another avenue that Rebecca Black can go down. It's almost as if like she did the 7-track thing on purpose here, because it was kind of like just giving you a sneak peek into what she can do just across the 7 tracks, and there is a lot of variety. Even that one song I just mentioned there that I didn't like, it at least tries to go for something different. So yeah, I do feel like Rebecca Black is showing off a bit of versatility here, and I do think that it really stands out on this track as well for me. But the best song on the album comes at the very end, my friends. Twist the Knife. This is an absolute rager. This is the one right here. This is the one right here. I'm telling you, man, this is the one. This has these really like synth heavy verses that kind of remind me of something like Rev would do on her most recent album, in fact her debut album, which was really good and underrated, and also something like Slater would do. Like, I genuinely feel like Slater would absolutely be hopping on this beat and be more than happy to go with it. Like, it sounds great, and then that chorus comes in, and then you've got these like organs that give it this like dramatic feel. It completely changes the tempo of the track. It sounds awesome. And then that like last leg of the song where she's really flexing her vocals, she's like absolutely belting. It sounds fantastic. This whole song is just ridiculously over the top and dramatic, but done really well. I feel as though in a Just World this would be a smash hit, and I'd be hedging my bets and say this could be the one that tips her over that edge, really. I think this track has potential to become something pretty big, but yeah, man, I think this is going to be championed by the people that have listened to this album all year. Like, this will be for the ones that have heard it, and hopefully word of mouth will get this out there, because this has to be like a massive smash hit. It's just so good, so fantastic. And that's kind of it. I mean, yeah, not really the most, you know, lyrical or deep album you're going to hear, but for dance pop, synth pop, hyper pop, this is really strong. Like, this is really strong, and from an artist that you probably would be thinking, really, seriously? But no, seriously, I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, man, don't write it off. This is very good. Just bangers, and yeah, just really well done pop music. So I wanted to highlight it because I think, yeah, Rebecca Black kind of killed it here. I'll go 7 out of 10. Do think, like I say, that one track lets it down, and a couple in the middle don't stand out to me as much as those really great ones, but still overall a 7 out of 10 is an endorsement from me. Twist the Knife is an absolute endorsement from me, and yeah, just at least check out a couple of tracks on this, especially if you're interested in some of the things I said. Don't write it off because you think, oh, it's the Friday Girl. Trust me on it, trust me. Let me know your thoughts in the comments as well if you've heard it. Do have a good day. Subscribe, check out my Patreon, join on the membership page as well. You get perks and all kinds of good things too, and also you get to support me doing what I do. That's it from me. Let me know your thoughts. Goodbye.